Well, good morning, flockers. We are live from the chair. Good morning, Max. How are you? Yeah? You seem to be running in circles, little guy. So, Max, do you have any ideas what you'd like to play with today? Running in circles sounds like a great idea. That's always fun. Oh, but we keep your head in the shot. We don't need a headless bird. Oh, yeah, there's lots to do. Good morning, good morning. Ornithology dudes here, Vu, Greenbird, Erin, Cheryl, Christine, Mookie. Hello, hello. Tango Elliott says half here, half not. Yes, Vu, Max probably thinks it'd be great if it were Aggie time, but we don't have any cooked this morning. But we might be able to bring out a snack. Hey, Max, how about I get you a snack? Want snackies? All right, let me just wash my knife here so I can cut a snack for you. Of course, everybody knows this is going to mean a big mess on the chair. That's okay. Hey, Max, do you want a snack? Snack? I have a pepper for you. Climb up, climb up. Hey, climb up, buddy. Come up. Come on. There you go. Yes, a piece of a mini pepper. Those are really popular with the flock right now. Max likes them. Pico hasn't really decided if he likes them or not. Yeah, look at the mess you're making, Max. Was that a good pepper? Okay, maybe we're not going to eat it this morning. Maybe we're just going to tear it up. I mean, that happens. It is the way of the parrot. Max, didn't I ask you to stand on the side? Okay, now you're eating some. Max, some days you are a goose. Yes, parrots love hot peppers as well. Parrots don't have the same type of taste buds as humans do. They don't taste hot in the same way. So if you wanted to offer them a ghost pepper, they would just think, hey, this is quite a tasty thing. Very savory. They would not be registering the hot the same way that a human would. You enjoying that, Max? Yeah, you realize we want to see your face, not your tail feathers? Actually, an interesting note that many may not be aware of, for parrots and birds in general, cayenne pepper can be used as a pain reliever. I know that just seems kind of weird. The rest of us, cayenne pepper just causes pain. But for a bird, if they've injured themselves and you want to offer some pain relief, just make a bit of a paste of a bit of cayenne pepper and water and offer that up. Apparently it works well. I find it quite amusing. Actually, Cebu hot peppers are very healthy for parrots. It's something that they would eat in the wild and something they quite enjoy. As you can see, this bell pepper is quite savory. I'm just going to shift. There we go. No, sorry about the rough shift, guys. Yeah, Cebu, we cook with cayenne a lot here as well. It's actually kind of funny when I'm cooking around here. I know the flock enjoys they really enjoy food time. Food is a favorite hobby, and it's definitely social time. If a bird sees you eating, they want to eat. And, it's something you normally would do in a flock. So as you're part of the flock, you end up eating with the birds and they want to eat with you. So only makes sense that if they see you cooking food, they'd like to have a sample. A lot of human food is okay for parrots in modified quantities. Obviously, fruit and veggies are okay, a little bit of plain rice and pasta, etc. But there are certain things that are not healthy for birds. Birds cannot have salt, or shouldn't have salt. Sugar's not good for them. There's a whole big list of do's and don'ts for birds. But once you're aware of that and you decide to cook, if I make some rice, I will make plain rice. And when I say plain rice, I do not salt it when I cook it. I make the rice very, very plain. And the birds can have a bit, they enjoy it. And I usually add a bit of salt on the table and on my plate when I'm eating it, because saltless rice just doesn't quite work for me. In the past, it's been a bit of a surprise for anybody who's been over for a meal, especially if I forget to mention, oh yeah, you'll want to salt your own rice. Plain rice takes on a very different character when cooked without salt. So you see, dude is heading out. And I missed some comments here, so I'm just going to scroll up for a minute. Ornithology Dude says he has a problem at the Falconry Center. I hope everything goes well for you. Pop back in, let us know what's happening there when you can. We're definitely interested. Oh yes, Cebu, cayenne is definitely good on eggies. One of the flock's favorite recipes are spotted eggs. And it's a microwave egg. Cooked, it's just an egg cracked into a microwave safe container, sprinkled liberally with chili pepper flakes, and cooked for 30 seconds, maybe a bit more depending on the microwave. And the flock really, really enjoys that. Very, very tasty. Hi, Linus. Yeah, Greenbird, see, you understand the idea of flock feeding. You cook very, very plain so that the flock can participate. And they definitely do enjoy that. So, none of that. Just because you're on film does not mean you can get into trouble. Now, Max, is it okay if I clean up your seat? Oh, I need a paper towel to clean that up. It's all juicy. Look at that mess. Look at that mess. Oh, my bird. Stand up, thank you. All right, I'm going to push some of this off to the side. Now, it's probably going to look a bit odd that I just shoved food off the chair to the side, but I do happen to have a piece of newspaper down there which can catch the food. And I've just removed the bulk of the pepper juice. I'll wash down the chair properly later. I know I'm going to need to. Max, how would you like to play with some blocks? Is it a block time, maybe? Ho ho! I have a box of blocks. Are you ready for it? Whee! There. We'll start with some cardboard. That looks like fun. Yes, Max, that looks like a lot of fun. Cardboard's definitely fun to crunch through. Here's a neat fact. Inside the cage, Max is not a huge fan of chewing on cardboard. Inside the cage, he prefers newspaper. Outside the cage, however, it's time to turn this cardboard into a puzzle. Yeah, that's definitely fun. He'll chew at it, he'll peel it. Corrugated cardboard has a lot of fun textures. Right now you can see he's just peeling the paper back a bit, crunching through some of it. Oh yeah, lots of fun. Lots of fun. Yeah, ornithology dude, good luck catching your ladder. Keep us posted and let us know what happened, even if you have to pop into the comments a little bit after the stream. Good luck. Oh yeah, now we found a green one to chew on. Nope, not green today. Red? Oh yeah, red's a fun color. Oh yeah, blocks are always fun. I'm just going to sneak in here a little bit. I'm going to shift this over. Oh, there you go, bud. Didn't mean to get your toe. I just want to catch the bulk of the splinters inside the box. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the game of blocks is always kind of fun. And I see we've got a yellow cup that Max has already pulled out. Oh, not the red. Not the red. Max is telling me the box is a little too close to his toes. He didn't do it like that. Is that better? Here you go. Yeah, your toes are no longer trapped. Definitely a block day around here. Fun to chew, Max. Making some great sounds. Yeah, those are fun. So I see we've got some questions, and since Max is having a munch, let's see what some of the comments are. I'm going to scroll back a bit. I apologize to everybody if I missed some comments. It's sometimes hard to keep track of comments, multiple parrots, etc. So I know Tango's on the line. Tango, how is your paw doing? Are you getting used to the lack of your baby toe? Are you out to the dog park yet? Let us know. Everybody's interested. Hello, Candy. Hello, Sprite. Mookie asks, when is Max's and all the birds' bedtime? Well, that depends a little bit. Usually, I try to put everybody into a cage and head upstairs myself around 10 o'clock. It's not my bedtime, but that's about the time I try to sort of settle a little bit quietly in my library/office upstairs to give the birds a chance to quiet down. They tend to start to quiet down a bit when I hear the sounds of final night snacks and everything finishing off. I'll turn off the lights, but sometimes I'll head down if I decide I want, something to drink or something to munch on. It's one of the problems when you have a relatively small space and the parrots do not have their own room. I sometimes go to bed a little bit on the late side, but the birds do get a chance to get some sleep during the day. Some schools of thought suggest that it's best for a bird to have at least 12 hours solid uninterrupted sleep. I can tell you that does not happen here. But what happens is in the morning I get up, I come downstairs, grab a coffee, say good morning to the flock, usually hand out a bit of a snack, whatever that might be. You know, this week we've had some nanners on the go, and they've been enjoying the bananas for Beak Fist. And then if it's a weekday, I pop upstairs, I turn on my computer, and I start working. The flock's pretty good about the fact I'm working upstairs. They're relatively quiet. After Beak Fist, they'll probably nap a little bit. I'll come back down in a while for some coffee. Sometimes that interrupts a nap. Oh well, it's coffee. Come on, I've got my priorities. If I've got a meeting coming up, I'll turn on the radio just so that the flock has some additional to listen to. They're less likely to try to vocally join a meeting if the radio's running. But through the day, they'll take some naps. They do take a nap as well in the afternoon. And then they're ready for playtime in the evening. Weekends are, of course, a little bit different. As I'm sure you have noticed if you've joined us, it's playtime right now. But by the time noon starts coming around, Max tends to settle down a bit, and he looks like he is ready for his nap. But we've got a lot of important birdness before nap time. We have blocks to fling and to munch on and to chew. It's definitely going to be a bit of a fun time around here. Hi Rhonda, glad that you made it. Yes, Christine, both Tico and Max have very strong beaks. Max is only chewing on pine though. Pine is a relatively soft wood. They're also quite capable of chewing on hardwoods, but he finds that they're not as rewarding. They don't splinter quite as easily, so they're a little bit less fun for him. Tico's beak, very strong given the way that he goes through pumpkins and squash. This week, Tico was quite happy to find another small pumpkin appeared. Came out of the fridge, it landed on his play top for a little while, he got to munch on that. Then it went into the cage, and he was very, very happy with that. And you can keep a secret. I have another PUM for Tico downstairs. The last one of the season, full-size carving, and I picked them up before Halloween. I stocked up fairly well. It's downstairs, it's been kept cool, and it has done quite well. It's never been frozen, So it's in pretty good shape. Oh, absolutely, the beaks are really, really powerful. So, good news, ornithology dude managed to coax his escaped critter back. Great to hear. Tango Elliott says that he will be going to the dog park next Friday. He has to build up a hard skin, and having a marrow bone every day is helping because he holds them between his feet. Yeah, that makes sense. Build up a bit of callus and be ready to go out in the wild. That sounds like a lot of fun. We can't wait to see some pictures. I don't know if anybody here follows Tango Elliott on social media. On InstaFlock this week, Tango posted the best picture. Tango was giving the camera stink eye, worthy of Tico. I showed Tico, and Tico said that, you know, he was super proud of you, Tango. You know, I absolutely love the fact that there's some conversations happening in chat as well. This is fantastic. Everybody gets to know everybody. You know, this is absolutely fabulous. So Tango's got a great question. He wants to know if birds enjoy the same games or need changes like dogs do. Oh boy, parrot games. That's actually a great topic. And every bird is different in the way that they enjoy playing. Max's favorite game inside of his cage is shredding newspaper, making nests, and running pieces of wood up and down the cage, almost like tools. Sometimes Max will try to use a piece of wood as a screwdriver on the back of a bolt or the front of a screw to see if he can remove pieces of his cage. He was actually a little bit successful. Didn't even notice it. Usually I notice something starting to back off and I tighten it down. Sometimes I use a bit of Loctite. I'll go with blue Loctite if I'm trying to secure a cage. Back in the days when I had a print shop, I learned a couple of valuable things about Loctite. Red, you're never going to get off again. Blue will take an awful lot of vibration, but a bit of torque, turning torque, such as removing a screw, will easily break it open. So it's a great way to keep a screw tight without having it vibrate out or easily come out by accident. So I will use that on the cages when I put them together. Yes, I'm very careful not to let any chemical get on the birds. Super, super cautious about that. But it does a great job of keeping cages together. Well, Max managed to take a screw out of the lock on the front of his cage. Not quite sure how he reached around, because it's something that will get an if I ever spot him playing with it. And I didn't think that screw was accessible from inside the cage. I was wrong. Not sure where it went, but there's a lot of stuff dropped on the floor with the parrot. A lot of paper, a lot of stuff. The fact I couldn't find it does not necessarily mean that it is lost. So I chose not to have a meltdown or worry about it. Max is pretty intelligent. He knows what he can and cannot eat. Sometimes people will ask, are you worried that he's going to eat, say, some wood? Well, Max is smarter than most humans. He's not going to eat wood, paper, cardboard. He understands it's not food. So he just chews at it and drops it. So I'm pretty sure that's what would happen to the screw. So haven't found it yet. It may still show up. Around here, things have the ability of showing up weeks later. I've looked already, don't have anything the right size downstairs, but I'm not super concerned about it. There's still one screw holding it together, and I never just use the lock on the cage. Parrots and parrot cages, they're not exactly made for each other. Whoever designed locks on parrot cages forgot how easy it is for a questing beak and a nibble tongue to open up a lock. Tico, for example, understands how to open a lock, and it does not take him long at all. If I lock a cage and I leave Tico in the cage, Tico understands that it is a matter of trust. I trust he's going to remain inside the cage, and he 99.999% of the time listens to that. However, sometimes they're toddlers. The temptation to not behave is always there. So I don't just rely on the cage. I also add an extra style of cage lock. What I use on bird cages, and I'm just going to come around to the front of the camera here, baby links. So this one's a baby link. You can get it at any baby department. And what happens is the front here can easily pop open and it can pop closed. I'll use that on the cage with the link part outside. These ones are also a fun toy. Max might enjoy one. I'm just going to snap one around a block for him. There we go. I've just made a block toy. He'll be playing with that in a minute. But I use those to secure cages. Now, before you use a baby link yourself, I want to point something out. That baby link could get caught on a parrot's beak, especially on the underside of the beak. I don't know if Max is going to let me do this, but on the underside of the beak right here, yeah, there's a bit of a hollow. Hopefully you saw my finger, not just my back, but there's a bit of a hollow, and it's possible for a baby link to snap its way around that and become a problem. So that is something that I am quite aware of, but I just keep an eye on them. I'm not too far away, and it is the risk of letting a bird out and the kind of trouble they can get into is far greater than the risk of a baby link. Max plays with baby links quite differently than Tico, but if they start playing with them and prying them open and starting to put beaks in them, at that point I change my approach. The other thing I have for Max's cage is, here we go, a carabiner clip. And this one, it's big and heavy. I mean, this one is really heavy duty compared to the size of my hand. This particular clip, and I'm not sure if you can see it on here or not, but this one is stainless steel. You have to be very careful with the kind of metal that you use with the bird. Any metal that is cheap is usually zinc coated. And zinc coated metal it's fairly soft, at least the coating is. It can be ingested, and if ingested, the zinc can lead to metal toxicity. This is not the same problem with stainless steel. So any metal fastenings on a cage, any metal clips, they all should be a stainless steel and not a zinc. Yes, stainless steel is a lot more expensive than zinc, but you know what? It's a lot cheaper than the expensive vet visit. It's a lot better than watching a bird who's sick or a bird who dies because they've ingested bits of metal which poison them. So stainless steel is definitely a good option. So that's how I tend to keep a cage shut. Yeah, sometimes the game is to play with some of the fastenings on the cage, but that's one of the birdie games. Max obviously enjoys shredding cardboard and shredding wood. He likes to play toss. Dogs, I think, are a bit more into fetch. Max is more into the concept of toss. He takes a toy, he tosses it, and expects somebody else to fetch it for him. Tico enjoys playing the game of bells, where he will jingle bells or his pots and pans. Something that makes a jangling noise, a lot of fun. He really enjoys that. Max has never really gotten into bells. Tico likes to climb around upside down like a bat bird. That's fun for him. He'll chew on wooden blocks if they're not attached to a toy. I haven't figured this out either. Maybe he understands toys are expensive and decided at an early age he didn't want to chew at them. Every so often, once a toy's been there for 8 months or so, he'll go through it like a chainsaw and only leave bits and pieces of toothpicks. But for the most part, he will only chew with wood if I give him a block to chew on. Right now, Tico's favorite block is yellow. Blue, green, or orange appear to be evil parrot-eating blocks. Go figure. Tico likes to climb around a lot more than Max does. He's a bit more of a gymnast. So there's definitely a lot of differences in the way that the birds play and entertain themselves. Around here, we are always looking for new games and new ways to entertain birds. One great bird toy that the flock gets into, and I've got one right here, so I'm going to bring it over, is the common egg carton. Now this egg carton is one of the ones made out of cardboard. It's the same type of cardboard that you see on drink container holders. It's untreated and it's chewable. I would never give the flock an egg carton that was made of styrofoam. I'll put that there. Max may or may not want to go for it right now. But that also makes a great toy. Around here, any packages that come in, anything that's handy, it is fair game for a parrot toy. Little boxes or big boxes, cardboard boxes, are also lots of fun. This one has actually been around for a bit of time. Max not been super interested. It's got a small box. I'm just going to set that one over here, see if Max wants to play with it. So maybe I'll stack it on top. I'm getting a look from Max of leave me alone. I've got my block. I don't want to play with any of these boxes. But he sometimes will play with them a bit later. And as I've mentioned earlier, the games that he plays outside of the cage are very different from the games that he plays inside of the cage. I find that fascinating. During the winter, we tend to do a little bit more with Max indoors. And one thing he'll sometimes do is try his beak painting. Haven't set up his painting station yet this year. I've got it out, but I still need to clean up the table a bit and protect it so that it can paint. And he'll just use an acrylic paint, which is child safe. As a general rule of thumb, if you get the paint that a toddler can drink, it's not going to be toxic to a bird. Yeah, no oil paints for you, Max. You know, so there's different things that you can do. Max sometimes finds that a bit of fun. Might take a bit of time to reintroduce him to that because he has not done that all year. In the summer, we spend a lot of time outside. Today, however, I'm much more interested in the blocks than anything else. Okay. Yes, ornithology dude, you definitely need bigger bars or bars that are spaced a bit closer together. Okay, yes, Rhonda, Tico certainly loves his pumpkins. Yeah, Christine, Tico's going to get the surprise PUM a little bit later. He might get it this weekend. Okay, today he's had a lot of things to play with already. He's been quite active. I try to give him a pum when I'm not going to be quite as interactive with him. It keeps him busy and he does not even notice I'm at work or busy. Yes, I can be replaced easily by a member of the squash family. Yes, Tango, I did see that. I noticed that Einstein called you on your, shall we say, makeup as well. That was quite funny, especially the fact that you hadn't noticed it. Remember, all social media should be G-rated, even if you're a dog. Ornithology Dude says that, and Ornithology Dude, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming this is a falcon of some sort, has a cut on its foot, and he's assuming it's something scratched it. Okay, Blue's showing off, flopping for every birdie. Sounds like fun candy, but we can't see him from here. Yeah, Cheryl says bobbin does screws sometimes too. It can be a fun game to play. Einstein joined us. Now, you can tell I'm about 10 minutes late on the comments. That's a little bit embarrassing. Yes, Candy, locks on cages are made for humans. It's not made to keep parrots inside. Most parrots are smart enough that they can figure them out. I saw a comment one day I thought was quite funny. The reason they can't make locks on bird cages more complex is because they have to make it strong enough for the bird not to figure out, but it still has to be enough that a dumb human can figure out. I thought that was hilarious. And it's true. It's true. Max, I see you tossed the one with the handle. There you go. Toy and a link. Let's see. Yeah. So comments are still talking a bit about locks on cages. Cheryl, absolutely. I do worry about carabiners as well. They've got a similar problem that I talked about with links earlier, that they could clip onto a beak or cause harm. The trick there is to get a big, strong carabiner that is less likely for the bird to be able to close, and keep an eye on the bird to see if the bird is actively playing with it or ignoring it. Absolutely. Hey, Tico, what you up to? No. Yeah, Cheryl suggests stuffing egg cartons and using them for foraging. That's definitely one way that we'll play with egg cartons around here as well. I'll probably take this egg carton and fill it with some of the splinters that Max is making and pop that inside the cage. And he'll probably chew on that a bit. He'll find his splinters, gives him something to chew on, and it keeps him from falling through the bottom of his cage. What up, buddy? Come on. I did not throw it to the floor. Chico, come up. Thank you. Good bird. Tico's in the mood right now where he's looking for a dark place to, shall we say, nest. He thinks that would be a great, fun thing to do. This week he discovered a paper bag from groceries. Wanted to play with that. He's got it inside the cage. He had a lot of fun with that, but he even had fun on the floor. Max, you're making a dreadful mess. Or should I say a joyful mess? You seem to be enjoying it. You heard me talking about the smaller splinters, so he's tossing them out so I can get at them. Yeah. One note about boxes, if you're using them for parrots, be aware of glue and tape. Cardboard itself, when it's manufactured, reasonably safe, especially the unbleached cardboard. But the way the boxes are manufactured with big gobs of glue, big staples, or tape, I worry about the chemicals on the tape a lot more than I do about the box. So I just pull any tape off the box. I cut the box so that I don't have exposure of the big pieces of glue, and I'll sometimes refold the box just by folding flaps and interweaving them. It's a good approach, and it makes me feel a little bit better about what the bird has his beak on. Okay, I think I've finally caught up on comments. Most recent comment is Christine laughing at the fact that Max is making a mess. If you have a flock at home, you'll understand one thing. Your job is to constantly clean up after the bird. If you don't believe me, let's just take a quick look. This floor was clean before we started. Here we go, Max. Pop that back down. Yeah. Oh, there we go. 3 legs of a tripod. That helps. And that's despite the fact I've got the box position to catch most of the pieces that he's chewing at. Yeah, what I'll do later with the box is I'll pull out the bigger blocks, clean up any of the small detritus, put that out for usually small bits of untreated wood are great for the compost bin. Hey, what are you doing, Tico? I know, but we're not going to nest underneath the dishwasher today. I know. Yeah, Max is definitely enjoying blocks today. I did buy this particular box of blocks, and they're actually a really good size for Max. He seems to enjoy them. They fit in his foot well. They're reasonable. They weren't too expensive, although it's always cheaper just to start from regular pine and cut it myself. The problem is then I have to put in the time. What I like about these is that they are so regular. They're all the same size, they're all the same shape. Max does not care about the hole in the middle. I really wish that there was somewhere that I could just buy a box of blocks that are approximately this size, just pine 2x4s that are chopped down into the thinner wafers. But have not found anybody in town who's selling that yet. All of the stores are selling the ones that are colored with the holes in them. And I mean, that makes sense. That's where the market is. People are using these ones for making toys. What you doing, Tico? So yeah, so either I'm going to pull out some power tools and make some more blocks, or order some more, probably in the near future. But I've got a store locally, Parrot Trends. She's really good about stuff. I try to place the larger orders when I'm dealing with her. But, hey Tico, we're not on the floor. Yeah, we had the floor discussion already. There you go. Stop. Thank you. If you have birds, you understand that they sometimes have a one-track mind. Tico's one-track mind right now is to find a nesting spot. And he definitely has underside of things like dishwashers in mind. I can hear Marcia right now thinking out loud about Parrot countermeasures. It's definitely one option. Block things off so the bird can't possibly get into things. Hi. Tango comments that Tango takes out at least 20 toys a day, and they are everywhere. If we count each block as an individual toy, Tango, I think Max could pull 100 toys a day. I clean up often, but he just keeps on pulling them out and chewing at them. Right now he seems really happy going after the smaller pieces of wood, so I'm not picking up the larger pieces from the ground. Oh, he found a block of Lego. It's amazing what ends up in the block box. Yeah, Lego can be a bit of a fun toy. It is a supervised toy, which means that the bird is supervised when he has his beak on it. Tico loves to play with Lego. Tico is the king of Lego disassembly. Max tends to be more interested in feeling the texture of Lego with his beak. And you can just see him twiddling it there a minute ago. Occasionally the flat pieces of Lego. The flat pieces of Lego, I don't know if you've ever played with Lego, but they're the ones that when they pin together, they're almost impossible to get apart. You know, you're trying to get a fingernail in there or something. The big blocks you can at least get a grip on. Flock loves those little flat pieces. They're fun to get the beak in, and it gives them something to work at. It's a bit of a challenge. Max sometimes plays tiddlywinks with them as well. If you've ever played Tiddlywinks, it is a game where you've got a small plastic disc. You put a bit of pressure on one side, and the disc flips and flies across the room. Or in the case of Tiddlywinks, I think the idea was to get it to hit a particular target. But yeah, pieces of Lego from Max can be Tiddlywinks. Hey, what are you doing, Tico? Are you being a good bird? And now we're on to a blue block. Yeah, Max, it definitely today is all going to be about blocks. It's quite funny, he does not go through blocks in the same way during the week. He'll get a couple inside of the cage and, you know, maybe a block a day or so, and it will last. Right now he's got a few blocks sitting in a toy that he's been ignoring for the most part. But as soon as he comes out, sits on the chair, sees the camera, he knows he gets to perform. And it is Block City. The blocks are actually great too because it does a good job of keeping his beak in check. His lower mandible, and you can probably see, he ends up, a cockatoo beak has 1 point on the top and 2 points on the bottom. So you've got 1 point on the top here and 2 points on the bottom here that sort of overlap. It's these bottom 2 points on his beak that he tends to let overgrow a bit, and it can become a bit of a problem. I tend to let him chew at it himself. The last time I mentioned to him that he was going to go to the VET because his beak needed a bit of a visit with Dr. Dremel, he immediately started chewing on stuff and chewed his beak right down. He didn't want any help with it, but I do keep a bit of an eye on it because it can overgrow. My thought is the most important thing is that he's still able to eat cracked seeds, open nuts, get at fruits and vegetables in an efficient manner, and that he's happy. So I just keep a bit of an eye on it. He lets it grow, then he chews it down. Lets it grow, chews it down. I mean, I sort of look at it as a bit of a choice, personal choice, really a fashion choice. If he wants to look like a vampire with fangs from the bottom, that's okay. Just as long as he doesn't act like a vampire. Okay. So Tango says, new toys smell better, so he's always looking for the new ones and knows we have toy closet. Absolutely. Around here, new toys can be parrot-eating monsters, and some toys, even if they're the identical color, shape, etc., will be eyed up with the eye of disdain and stared down for, with Tico, sometimes a couple of weeks before he's willing to touch them or interact with them. Other times, Tico's willing to jump on them immediately. His pots and pans toy, it took him a while before he was ready to play with that one. I guess it looks kind of scary to him. I put it outside of his cage. He watched me playing with it. I put it inside of his cage. He hid on the other side and refused to move for about 6 hours, so I pulled it back out. Hung it on the outside of the cage where it wasn't quite as scary. And eventually he was curious enough that he started playing with it. Then he discovered that the toy itself could be used for foraging and could hold Nutriberries. At that point, that toy was perfectly A-okay in his world. It was holding one of his favorite traits. Oh, absolutely, Mookie. The mess definitely is so very worth it. Although sometimes it would be nice to have somebody to come in just to clean the cage. Just to mop the floors. Oh, well, it's the price you pay for having a flock. They're right, Max. Yes, I'll say the parrot beaks are always growing. Shooting is a necessity. Tico, I'm watching you. I said not the floor. Come on. Come on. Keep climbing. Keep climbing. Thank you. Tico does understand what I'm telling him. He just sometimes chooses to ignore it. Willful toddler. Yes, Rhonda, Max, he is going to be ready for a nap after this too. Hi, Maria. Glad that you were able to join us. Oh yeah, there's lots of different ways to keep the flock occupied. Always new games to be playing. That right, Max? Max does not look like he's going after boxes right now, so I'm going to move those. I'm going to toss the cup back in. It's basically renewing the toy space a little bit to give him something fresh to think about and play with. I see the cup went flying immediately. And then just toss that cup in, bud. Oh, definitely time for the cup to go flying. Does not want a yellow cup today. Tico, where do you think you're going? Come on. Not under there. Hi, honey. Yeah. What's the matter? Is Max getting all the attention? Oops. Yeah. What's for TV, huh? Yeah, today it's all about the smaller pieces of wood. It seems wants to shred them, then go back to them. This is actually great. Means the toys get played with a little bit longer. But the purpose of toys is for the toys to be destroyed. So Max is doing exactly what he should be doing. Aren't you, buddy? So let's see, I've got a couple of comments here that I've missed out on. Cheryl says that her budgies are really brave with new toys, but Bob is fine if she plays with it as well. Absolutely, introducing something new, whether it's food, toy, or whatever, to a parrot, they see you interacting with it, they start to trust it. And definitely there's sometimes the, if you're playing with it, why can't I play with it concept coming in. Yeah, Maria, Max makes a lot of mess in the house, but that's okay. He's allowed to. It just means that we are constantly cleaning up after him. Asevu says, can't wait for the 12 days of bird mess. Asevu, if you have a bird, it's 365 days of bird mess. But for those of you who may be relatively new to our socials, every bird mess, Max does something called the 12 days of birdness. It's the holiday celebrated by parrots worldwide. And we try to have some very unique seasonal content every single day. We have a lot of fun with that one. So we do that every single year. And every year we also do some specials on YouTube. And when I say specials, I mean some of the narrated videos. Some of the videos that take a little bit more work to put together, that are based around a bit of a storyline, that are more than just watching the birds interacting with toys or food or their regular lives. So we definitely have a lot of fun with that. I'm starting to plan out our December videos right now. What I will tell you as a bit of a spoiler, during Halloween, we did a video where we invited the flock to interact, and we had a whole bunch of tweeters visiting Max for the season. That video, people loved it. It was a lot of fun. And I mean, we didn't restrict it to parrots. You know, we had a lot of special guests pop in. Greenbird, Einstein, even Tango showed up. And Tango was dressed up as a pirate with a parrot on his shoulder. He's definitely into the Halloween season. So we had a lot of fun with that. So I'm going to try to put together another interactive video which features the extended flock. I think that one was a lot of fun. So keep an eye peeled for that, because there will be an invite issued. And what I noticed last time is people jumped on board quite quickly. Last time actually I had to jump on board quite quickly because I decided to do it the day before Halloween. Note to self, do not press yourself by deciding to do something and finishing at 4 a.m. so it's ready for release. A bit more time would be useful. So yeah, definitely going to be doing that. Obviously with COVID, we are not going to be visiting Santa or his younger twin brother, Kyle at Pisces. Yeah, that was a lot of fun last year. We've got that video up. And, you know, as December hits, I'm going to reshare some of our seasonal videos. I'm looking for a Christmas song or Christmas carol to do a bit of a parody of. Every year I've been picking on one of that. Last year we did Up Carol of the Box. Year before we did the 12 Days of Birdmas. You know, definitely some of the older content on the channel. I was still learning a lot about how to use tools like Premiere, but as I move forward, I'm getting better at some of the production. So some of the old stuff, yeah, you are going to laugh a bit at the production values, but the goal is every video gets a little bit better. And if anybody out there has some feedback, feel free to send me a private message and let me know what I can do better. Let me know what you'd like to see, what you saw that you liked. You know, hey, it's all part of learning, and it is about learning with the flock. Hey, Max. So yeah, we do have some fun Birdmas content happening. And if you have any input or ideas, feel free to message me on that, but stay tuned. It's always a really, really fun time of year. Yeah, absolutely. That box feels like it is bottomless. Yeah, so we've got some discussion here around Max and the fact that birds don't get along with every single human. Absolutely. I mean, even humans don't get along with every single human. Think about people you work with. Some of them you click with, some of them you tolerate. Now, when you're an adult, it's a lot easier to tolerate somebody you don't like than when you're a child. Sometimes it's appearance, sometimes it might be scent or actions or movements. It can be a whole bunch of different things. Max, last year when we went to see Birdie Claus, Santa at Pisces, you know, we went with a few of our flockers, including Gonzo the Great, and it was being held at Pisces, and it was a donation for the food bank, would get you a pet photo. Really, really great idea. It was kind of fun. Well, it was a fun idea, but Max refused to sit with Santa. He just took one look and said, nope, 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 nope. That man with the white beard and the red suit, there's absolutely no way I'm going anywhere near him. We did get the Christmas photo. Spoiler alert. It happens to have a spare arm in it. But afterwards, you know, we hung out, we did a bit of a meetup at the store, and, you know, that was something we used to do pre-COVID. We would hang out and we would do regular meetups, answering people's questions, letting people interact. Max loved getting scritchies from all sorts of new people, and he was very good about sharing with me which people he was comfortable with, if he wanted to stand on them, if he wanted a scritchy, or if perhaps it was a no. And most important thing, if you have a bird, let the bird set the pace. Read the body language, let them determine if it's a yes or a no. But after meeting with Santa Claus and deciding he didn't like Santa Claus, Max met Santa's younger twin brother, Kyle. He looked, and was like, Kyle, my best buddy! And it was like he'd been looking for Kyle all day, and all of a sudden Kyle showed up. Kyle found this hilarious, especially the fact that Kyle was feeling a little bit slighted that Max didn't like Santa. But Max certainly made the exception when he saw Santa's younger twin brother. We did put that one out as a video just because it was too much fun. Yeah. So, different birds have different opinions, and it can even be presentation. The fact that Kyle and Santa, you can probably guess from the hint about the twin brothers, yep, one and the same. Max just didn't recognize Kyle when he was dressed up wearing a white beard and a big hat and extra padding. Something just seemed weird. But the other thing is absolutely how people approach. Max had gotten quite aggressive with his previous owners. He was not handleable. He was screaming nonstop. His story is on YouTube. It's a bit long. I give you a bit of a warning. You might want some Kleenex. It's not a happy story in his early years, but it did have a happy ending. He had just gotten to the point where he was frustrated. He was angry. He didn't know how to communicate, and he actually didn't even understand that there were rules. It was a case of perhaps a bad match. He'd spent a decade there, and when he came here, totally different parrot. If you'd show me any random clip out of his social media today and ask me if it was the same bird 15 years ago, or if I'd ever expect him to do that, I would have started laughing and no. This bird is not social at all. He can't be handled, does not like toys, does not like new foods. There's no way. Well, with Max, there was absolutely a way. He just needed a lot of time. A lot of patience. And honestly, he just needed to go at his own pace. You cannot make a bird do something he does not want to do or that he's not ready to do. But that video is there. Ooh, Tango said he's got a good idea. Call the press. Tango, hopefully you'll whisper that in my ear a little bit later on. Yeah. Oh, Amazons, absolutely. They can be very individualistic. Different bird types have different personalities. I know we're going a little bit over today, but we're having a great conversation. But different bird types, cockatoos tend to be quite social. They love having a large human flock, friendly with everybody. Not every bird is an individual, but on the whole, the cockatoos tend to be the party animals, the very social ones, the ones that think that a party with 50 of their best friends is a great idea. In contrast, I've found the grays especially are very much, they prefer to sit down in a small group. They want things a bit quieter, a bit more controlled. Amazons tend to be, in my experience, a bit more like the grays. We're very fortunate that when T-Cal, the Amazon, comes to visit, as he does quite often, he has adopted me as a spare pet human. He's basically decided that I'm just as good as his other pet humans. He's going to hang out with me. He's going to try to regurgitate from my ear. Okay, I'm not super happy with that concept, but he has fun and he knows that he is part of the flock. And, he enjoys interacting on the smaller context. So, well, thank you, Connie, for joining us. Yeah, I'm just sort of doing oh, you posted a tango, great. I will make sure I check on that a little bit later on here. I'm not seeing it, but maybe if I scroll through it a little bit later on. So I think we are going to wrap up for the day. I would like to once again, before I do, I was going to mention one other item. Our friend Einstein, and yes, this is Einstein, the talking gray parrot, a lot of us follow him as well, has a calendar out for 2021. It's a parrot calendar. I know Tango Elliott picks up a copy because he shared a picture of it earlier this week. And we've seen it on Marcia's live stream with Einstein as well. It looks like it's really well done. Any of the proceeds of that calendar are going towards assisting parrot rescues. So if you're looking for a Christmas idea, that's definitely a good one. We also, on Max's channel, have some new shirt styles that are coming out, including a couple of Christmas shirts. So if you're looking for a Christmas gift for a friend, family member, or even yourself, I know we're all doing a lot of shopping online this year. Might be worth checking out. So keep an eye out for that this week. I will post up links and I will put up a community post on YouTube when those are ready as well. But I think that's a wrap, everybody. I would like to thank everybody for joining us. Yes, Tango, I know you were really excited by that calendar. That was hilarious. I think that Einstein, when Einstein shared the picture with the heart, that heart was well placed. And if anybody does not know what we're referring to, just take a look at Tango Elliott's InstaFlock social media. It was pretty funny. All right, folks, we are going to call it a day. We would like to thank everybody for joining us. And, Tico wants to say goodbye too. Now, Tico's usually not a huge fan of popping into the same picture as Max. See a little bit of body language there. But Tico, just pop in for a minute. Yeah. Okay, there we go. 2 birds for the price of 1. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. Yeah, Tico, I'm putting you down. Thank you. I know buttons touch camera when I'm holding you. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. Have a great week and stay healthy.